We're doing science. It's me, Speedpaints. Going to this video, I am actually going to be going over some designs for some monsters that are in the world that mine, Sorhan's, and Joe's story takes place in. Now, I've gone over some types of magic, but there are different types of monsters as well. There are dragons, Kaiju, Titans, and demons. But there's also two other ones. Those were the originals. There's chaos monsters. I will go into those when I can, when we get to that clip. And then we have Dmos. Yes, Dmos are a race of monsters in this world, even though they're technically a race of humanoid creatures in my main universe. And all these dragons, well, a good chunk of them anyways, are from my Beastverse universe, but they're just bled over into this universe because there's a spatial rift in the extra dimensional space and time. I might go over a little bit more on that in another video, but hey, until then, let's get into this video and let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Okay, for the first one I did, it was actually a very interesting idea. I based it off of Joe's Purple Phantom Drake, and I made a few tweaks to the design. And for I know the skeleton's white, but I had the idea that this one is maybe rotting away, so the bones turn to a yellow after being exposed to the elements for so long. But the lore I can think of that this thing was killed by a very powerful warrior, but later a very powerful necromancer. Not enough powerful to raise this pet level of a dragon, but not powerful enough to actually control it. So the dragon was still intact, except for a drive through the heart, which killed it. But so it then ate the necromancer, thus gaining the ability to stay alive and not need the necromancer to live, because dead dragons, if the necromancer would have died, they would have just crumbled to the ground dead. I personally think they'll turn to ash. But due to it eating the necromancer, it gained the ability to live for pretty much forever. I can see this thing get into a few fights that ripped off the flesh and muscle of the bones, but like it might have slammed its tail against an opponent. The opponent grabbed it, but due to the rot, it just managed to sink its claws in so deep, and it just ripped the flesh off. If it was a human, I'm pretty sure that person would utterly regretted it. And also, the measurements I have here go for how tall and how long it is. It stands up to be around 5 feet tall, including the horns. The body length from head to the end before the tail is around 5 feet, and the tail itself is around 8 feet, thus giving it a body length of around 13 feet. And this one is actually known as Dragon is an Undead Draconic. It's a pretty interesting name I came up with. Draconic, it's actually a language from D&D, but I personally think Draconic could also be used to describe other creatures that are similar to dragons, like maybe a dragonkin. They are very draconic looking, but this dragon is also very draconic looking, even though it's an undead dragon of sorts. I can also see this thing being relatively powerful, maybe being able to speak with the its dead relatives or something, maybe being able to talk because of the necromancy spell. So yeah, let's get to the next one. Now the next one is a Titan. for the record, Titans in this world are mostly, by mostly I mean I'm hoping to incorporate some other types, but for the most part, this is how this is how Joker describes them. He describes them as giant spider monsters. They can level cities in seconds, even they have a hard time fighting chaos beasts, and they feed on dragons. Their offense is at least 10 they're at least 10 feet tall and 30 feet wide from leg to leg. Their webs can reach several stories tall, and they can catch even the strongest dragons. Some are often peaceful to humans unless provoked. Now I made a humanoidish one, thinking that maybe this one is helping humans or something. Maybe genetically modified from spells. Maybe some type of mix between shadow magic and life magic. Maybe a little soul magic in there. In order to make this monstrosity, I made this thing bigger than it should have been. I think around 20 feet wide because of how the arms are, and about 150 feet tall. There are maybe around 100 of these. There's one in almost every single major city that is still around because, war going on. I call this I go Titans-Titanic Humanoid Arachnid. It was experimented on by I can see what was it? I'm trying to remember. By taking out a very alive and very powerful creature. And one of the so like I was saying, a very alive Titan spider, but they use some soul magic, life magic, and some shadow magic in order to get this monstrosity. And in order to make it, they accidentally gave it soul lurcher form by using soul magic on it, but somehow the soul lurcher form kind of infused itself with the creature, giving it these dark purple orbs in its bodies, which were actually originally there, but were originally red, like dark crimson red. But they turned purple, and it now spews out magic, very low quantities, but enough to mutate things within a 5 feet radius of it when left in contact for a stupid amount of time. They are very protective of humans because they know about their past and they have been rewritten. They really don't like other creatures. They know about their past and they don't really like that. They just want order and all that. So, yeah, I can see these creatures being online with the monster hunters. So, yeah, let's get into the next one. Okay, the next one I'm going over, which is also the third one, is if I remember correctly, it's a chaos beast. Like in the last clip I said, I would talk about the chaos beast more in this one. And, well, I am. Chaos beasts are creatures that are, that were designed, not really designed, but created by Joe. It was his original idea for them. I okayed the idea because, it's his idea mainly. But here's the idea, the main thing for the chaos monsters. Chaos beasts, chaos monsters, same thing. They come in many different shapes and sizes. The main motive of them is to cause as much mayhem as possible. They can telepathically speak and use telekinesis. They rival demons and titans alike. They're one of the most powerful monsters. Even monster hunters have a problem with them. Their hierarchy, the they have a hierarchy. The Chaos Beast King is whoever can cause the most mayhem, death, destruction, and chaos. I created that little last bit. This last bit is also from this. It's from it. I okayed it with Joe. It also goes on to say, but on a very rare occasions, they can and are tamed by sorcerers, even rarer, monster hunters. But they're basically house pets for Dmos, because, you know, Dmos are so powerful. Now that's really everything for these, but, the way I never really, learned about their origins, so I think, that this world has a few areas that are pretty much a magical wasteland. Like some type of war happened back then that caused magic to pretty much just be nuclear waste. But also, these can also... Limited exposure could give you powers and boost your own magic. But, prolonged exposure to this area could actually mutate you, and I'm thinking that's where these creatures are. And for this one, I did a snake. I made it bigger. I'm thinking this one was like a, around 10-foot long snake originally, but then it mutated over a few months. Yeah, it just goes to show how powerful the magic is. Mutated over a few months, gaining around 50 feet in length total. Its fangs grew razor sharp to where it's as strong as steel, and it gained spikes on its back, and it gained 3 extra endings to to its tail. These are lesser worms, but they were created by the magic from a war. Now, some other things is that they are very, very hostile, but other than that, they're a very simple idea. But the reason why they're pretty much a house pet for a Dmos is because of how powerful a Dmos are. Like it already suggests, they are extremely hard to kill. I'm thinking, some dragons are able to kill them, but some, or most, have a very hard time killing them. And then there's other creatures in this world, like the demons. They could rival a demon and pretty much utterly kill a demon as well. I'm thinking maybe the lowest ranking Dmos, which is LL, or low for short. They might be having a hard time taking out something like this, because they aren't powerful enough. But maybe a squadron of at least 10 of them could easily wipe out a few hundred, because they don't make up for in their own strength. They get a certain extra power when they're in a bigger group. It's like their aura just mishmashes together, and they gain more power. But also they're in a wasteland where sometimes numbers could also increase your magic potential. So yeah, and I see these wastelands as like sometimes having little vegetation, maybe a few groves or little forests of trees here and there, but they're mostly a deserted wasteland, full breeding with chaos monsters, and occasionally some demons or humans that were created by that were turned into it. Thinking maybe... Okay, now let's just get into the next one. Now, these next two have some extra things to them. One is my submission for a Popcast community event, sorry. And another one is a drawing prompt. So, yeah, let's get into it and let's go. Now, the next one is a Kaiju, but it was a drawing prompt that was given to me by Joe. It was either Toxin, Gold, or Scavenger. Toxin was already taken by Joe himself. I decided to go with Scavenger because it sounded like a good idea, and I got the idea to do it for like a vulture, but I just scrapped that idea. Now let's go into it, and let's go. Now, like I already stated, this next one is was it? It was a drawing prompt given to me by Joker Joe. It was Scavenger, and the way he described it was something that went after metals and something like that. So I decided to go for a vulture idea, but it ended up to be more of an albino raven. The reason why I call it an albino raven is because of the fact that it's white, and albinos are white in general. Now, the creature, I dubbed it the metallic scavenger. I'm going to guess there's a few hundred of these kaijus. They're not mostly very tall, standing in only around 55 feet, and their wings, their body only being from peak to around where the wings start is actually around 5 feet long. So it's pretty thick, but it has a 65-foot wingspan on each wing. So yeah, and the tail end of itself is 10 feet. That's within that 55 feet. So it's a 45-foot body, tall body. So it's a pretty big dragon. I see these I can see these giant bird kaijus as creatures that are like ravens. They go after very shiny objects. They're also very intelligent. Now, they would use these shiny objects to either protect or enhance some body parts with armor. Like, I feel like they do have a biological tail, which is a claw shape, as you can see. But they also have the ability to morph the metal they can find onto any part of the body they want. This one in particular molded it to protect its wings, because that right there is actually very sensitive for these kaijus. It also molded it so that way it can actually break through rubble a lot faster using its beak. And to make it more sturdy to get through material and cut down opponents, it actually enhanced its own claw, as you can see. Now, the reason why I see there's been a few hundred of them is because they go in swarms. Because I can see these things being known to take out very, very large creatures. Some that tower over them like the size of Godzilla, for crying out loud. So, yeah, you can see that they are very, very big creatures. So, let's get into the next one. The next one is actually my submission for a event going on in the Popcast Community Redraw. By the time this video is out, it would have already been in the channels for that. But, hey, I really like it. So, yeah, let's go to it and let's go. Now, the next one, like I already stated, was is my submission for a Popcast Community event that's going on the Discord. By the time this video is out, it would most likely already be in there. But this one is a Shadow Wisp. I see these creatures around 4 feet tall, rarely ever enhancing their bodies to be like blades, but maybe making them elongating their fingers to wrap around their opponents, bring them toward them, so that way they can enhance their hands into bigger fists to beat them up. The only way to really kill them is to blow up their center. Now, there are lesser ones, and when there are lesser ones that look like Wisp from Brave, except more shadowy, and they can control their shadows to create little limbs to go out. Now, when bonded to a sorcerer, they gain more power, just like the creatures of my Beast Verse. So, there's that fact. But these Shadow Wisps are actually classified as demons because of their red head and horns and sharp teeth. They are sometimes known as a Dmos familiar. So, yeah, because they are commonly aligned with Dmos, they just really like Dmos in general. So, yeah. Any other things? Nothing really, except for the rare few that enhance their wings to be weaponry. Those are very rare, like 1 in every 1,000. So they're quite rare, but they are known to be more of a frontline soldier going in and not aligning with the Dmos. Because they just enjoy carnage in general, not controlled carnage. So, yeah, they're very dangerous in general, but they are really nasty too. So, yeah. Now that those two drawings are done, let's get into the final one of today, which is a Dmos. So, yeah, let's just get straight on to it. Let's go. Now, the next one is is one that I had some fun drawing. This one was what was the name of it? I keep forgetting the name of some of these creatures. What was its name? Oh yeah, it was a Dmos. Name Wayne, Dmos class Hunter. For record, hunters are one of the weaker classes, but they are known to hunt down leviathans. And in my world, and I'm hoping this world too, leviathans are chaos monsters, but in my world, leviathans can be found in purgatory. And let's just say, you were to shrink if you were to replace just put the scale, okay? A blue whale, the biggest mammal on Earth. You get it, and it's stupidly large. But shrink it down to the size of around maybe about 5 feet in length, okay? And then get a leviathan. It's pretty much, it makes that look small. Shrink down the blue whale to about 5 feet, and make get a white whalish looking worm thing, and make it about the size of a blue whale. Yeah, they're huge. But they also have little legs that allow them to walk on land. They are very powerful creatures, and get this, they are very, very, very tall too. And Dmos and the Hunter class are known to take these things on when they get a high enough ranking and kill them pretty much in one shot. The the leader of the entire Dmos class of this type of Dmos has known to be able to one-shot these things like they're nothing. Now, Wayne is is more of an archer and a swordsman. He, when far away from an opponent, and let's say it's a type of flying creature, he can fly in his own way, but he mostly prefers to notch an arrow. In fact, he has a limited supply of arrows because he has tattoos on his arms that create arrows. He notches one in his bow and arrow, same tattoo on his other arm, and he lets it go. The Dmos rock literally penetrates through the skin, causing a massive organ failure and causing it to fall out of the sky. Now, if a land creature he's fighting, like a leviathan, he would summon his sword, and he's up close and slash at its legs first to get it down. Then hop into its mouth and pretty much punch his way up to the brain and slice it in half. But he's also known to be outside and actually killing the thing from the outside. And trust me, if he were to go full power, he could turn this a leviathan into a Dmos rock statue of it. So yeah, that's all of them for today. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's video because that's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe to Adrian's Backcoast Army or Dmos Alliance. Goodbye and peace out, everyone.